My beautiful friends, I am back, as you can see. So there's one thing that I want to speak on. All right, yeah, I know. I'm really riding out this whole semen retention thing. But every time I focus on semen retention, I just keep thinking of more and more points, man. So I'm not trying to beat the dead horse. I'm not trying to be redundant, but I just keep bringing in different aspects. And for some of you, this may be the first time that you hear from me. I understand that pretty much the first video that I put out was the one that really caught some steam. But I can see why, alright? There's definitely some great value to semen retention. We all know this by now. But to some of you who aren't necessarily convinced, or maybe you relapse by getting your orgasm on, getting your 5 seconds of bliss, or what have you, and got some nice rest, as a result. I want to bring this point to you, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think I'm on to something, okay? So there's this meme that I saw on Facebook maybe a couple years ago, and I thought that that for sure. I rock with this meme. This meme is the truth, and it says something like, "No woman should have her man." Well, it said every woman should have her man balls empty and stomach fed. So, something like that. I am ruining it, but it's something like that. It's like that, and I was like, yeah, for sure. I like to eat, and I like to come, but looking back at it, I still like to eat. This is weird because I put out a video on intermittent fasting and semen retention. So you would think that I don't like to come and I don't like to eat. Why am I like this? I don't know. But abstaining from certain things definitely has its benefits. This is the reason why I do it. Other than that, I'd be coming all over the place, and I would be eating from the moment I wake up. Alright? But that's not my practice. Now with semen retention, I am strict. With intermittent fasting, I just kind of play it according to how my body's feeling. Okay? So, although I am practicing intermittent fasting, it's not like it was last time I was doing it, where I would have to go 16 hours from my last meal of the day. Now, I am still doing that, but a day like yesterday, I didn't do that. I didn't eat when I woke up, but, I maybe 12 hours from my last meal. Okay? Today or tomorrow, I might go 20 hours from my last meal. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't really care about the vanity aspect of it or how cool or tough I look. I just want to be effective. But anyway, this is not about intermittent fasting. It's about semen retention. So about that meme where it was like, your man should have empty balls and a full stomach. Now I look at the empty balls aspect, and I'm just like, wow, that's actually pretty. I mean, that's pretty dangerous, And I know maybe I sound a little too extreme, but let me just throw something at you, just real quick, okay? So empty balls is a curse at times. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we gotta have children. Most of the time when we are having our orgasms, it's not to make children. That's okay. I'm not judging you all. Because I'm definitely still having sex, and I definitely still want to come. All right. I'm no square. Okay. I'm not a nun. But anyway, I was just thinking, like, wow, if I wanted to dominate a militant personnel of sorts, I'd send a bunch of women to him. Okay. Now, why the hell would I do that? Now, obviously, it'd be a distraction. But if I can get those women, and I'm not trying to use women as tools, but if those women were to effectively get those men to ejaculate, I done took some fight out of them. Now here we go. We got our men, we got our gang, we got our army. We may be well sexed, but we've been practicing semen retention. We got the fight in us. We hungry. They ready to settle. They a different type of hungry. They want to eat a little sandwich and go to sleep because they just had a nice little orgasm. They just got a surprise orgasm. And we go in and we wipe them out. We wipe them out. Wow. How powerful. How powerful is the woman, by the way? But how powerful is it to throw women at your enemies? You get them well sexed. You get their balls empty. And then you just wipe them out. Okay? So life isn't necessarily that drastic. You know? In the battlefield, maybe. Maybe that's a thing, man. Maybe that's a thing. And, you know, this actually reminds me of something. I heard this, so somebody correct me. In the military, in boot camp, they put something in your food so your dick doesn't get hard. I wonder if they do that, you know, when you're actually in war. Now, I don't know what to make of this, but I would suppose that if your dick is hard, you're more likely to do something about it eventually, as opposed to, damn, my dick is never really getting all that hard. Look, I'm not even going to speak on the legality of that. I'm not even going to speak on the physical aspects of that shit, but it's just something that came to mind. So hey, can somebody please make a connection for me of what's happening in the military where they put something in your food so your dick doesn't get hard? Like, I haven't done any research on the subject, but I'd be very interested to know what you find. You know, the detriments, is that a good thing? Do they use that in war? I don't know. But naturally, I think it'll be a good thing to not do that, so you can have that fight in them. I think somebody told me so they don't fight each other or something like that with all that masculine energy. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe make things harder for them in a sense, no pun intended. But anyway, empty their balls, they got less fight in them. Now, I was saying that maybe it's not that drastic of a thing, but how does that apply to our everyday lives then? Well, if you got no fight in you're not going to fight. Okay? Now, I'm trying to skim through my notes a little bit, so I apologize if I'm taking a little extra time. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, okay, so when there's no fight in you, you settle, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're living the life that you want to live. But that isn't the case for most of us. Now, men and women are wired differently, as I have written down. For the most part, we're wired differently. Maybe completely, but if I say for the most part, I'm accurate. Okay, I don't want to have nobody saying I have more testosterone than the average man. And that's a woman talking. She talks like that. Her voice is deeper than mine. I sound like a teenager, but I'm 28 years old. I'm almost 30. So men and women are wired differently, typically. And I mean, women they can take a pounding all goddamn day, and nothing would be different in regards to their energy and what their energy depicts. Because the way that I see it, feminine energy depicts that you're going to be more on the receiving end. Masculine energy depicts that you are going to be on the giving end. You're going to be dishing out. You're going to be seeking. You're going to be hunting, you know, attacking and things like that. But when you don't have any fight in you, I don't know if that necessarily takes away from your masculine energy. Let's just say that it does. Okay, I'm trying to prove a point here. So, through ejaculating, let's say through perpetual ejaculation, you know, you don't give yourself enough time to recover. You don't give your sperm, your semen time to mature. You lose your masculinity, not completely, but your levels of masculinity go down, your levels of testosterone go down, what have you. Then that's kind of forcing you to go down. I mean, I don't even want to say go down because I don't want to disrespect feminine energy. But let's just treat it like there's like an arrow and a speedometer of sorts. I mean, it's not a speedometer, but I'm on the fly. Okay, and on this side we have feminine energy. This side we have masculine energy. You know, I guess they would call that a dial of sorts. But anyway, here you are in masculine energy, perpetual ejaculation, losing your fight, your testosterone over time starts to bring you closer to the middle. Maybe you're already at the middle, but whatever. But for example's sake, it starts to bring you closer to the feminine energy. And so you are losing a bit of your essence. Now, when I say that women can take a couple beatings, not beatings, but poundings, that's a bit of a sexual phrase. They take some pounding, and they're still here. They're still going to be here. There's nothing about sex that's going to make them more masculine, unless they're like the doms or some things like that. They are, they're doing some dominatrix shit or whatever. But anyway, through typical intercourse, they stay in their feminine frame. It gets reiterated, it gets rejuvenated, whatever it is. It gets reaffirmed. This is where I am as a lady. Nothing is changing that. I am still receiving. I'm still being told what to do in the bedroom and things like that. And I am allowed to be. I'm a woman, guys. So as a woman, I'm allowed to be vulnerable, and I can moan and mold to whatever I'm supposed to be put into a position. I'm not calling the shots right here. I'm just taking the orders and taking back strokes or whatever. And they get to stay there. But we, on the other hand, we do this enough, and we start to find ourselves on the receiving end, because now we don't want to hunt. Our dicks aren't hard, so we aren't giving orders in the bedroom. We feel too relaxed to give orders over other men. And then when we do, it's very easy for that to come from a very insecure place, because you don't feel like you have any fight in you. So you try to overcompensate with your attitude. You think that makes you a man. You better do what I told you to do, because I'm the boss. Alright? That's not masculine for real. That's not masculine. Real masculinity is knowing that people are going to do what you tell them to do, and it doesn't require excessive force. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just talking about bossing around the average person. Let's just say you have subordinates of sorts, or, even if somebody has you fucked up in a way, it's going to take a while for you, if you're in your masculine frame. It might not take a while, but it's definitely going to be some levels. Definitely going to be some barriers in between you and just completely snapping. If you're really in your masculine frame, if somebody is, kind of compromising you in a sense. So that's what I'm speaking on. I hope these analogies are really hitting home. I don't know if they're really analogies, because I'm in the thick of it. So I don't even know if I'm making sense. But what I do know is that women are more likely to stay in their feminine frame, unless, of course, they gotta bring home the bacon for the family. They're taking care of a grown-ass man who doesn't know how to be a man, who doesn't know how to be masculine. And men, I think the biggest reason of why we are so compromised, because we aren't meant to ejaculate as much as we do. Simply put. Now, I know some people may ask the question, and the answer is pretty obvious, but I know still people may ask the question, then why do we have orgasms? I mean, well, you know why. You know why we ejaculate. We have to reproduce. We know that. But it's supposed to sit at the ready. It's supposed to be ready, man. What more can I say about that? That keeps us in our masculine frame, okay? If it's one thing that I realized from perpetual ejaculation, is that I doubted myself a lot. I felt a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. I felt really inferior. And you may say, well, you're pretty thin, or you've always been pretty thin. You've always been pretty short. You've gotten bullied. That's if you know things about me, and those things are to be true. But growing up, I definitely ejaculated a lot, and quite frankly, on the cusp of ejaculation is when I felt a lot of that guilt, a lot of that insecurity, a lot of anxiety. I don't know why, but I know that I'm not a unicorn in that regard, because I've read about it many times. Many of you have told me, other people that I've met in life have told me the same thing. So there's definitely a correlation there, okay? The fight is being knocked out of us. Empty balls is dangerous. It's a curse. I'm trying to see what else I have right here. Dot. Okay. Perpetual orgasms is maybe putting you at a disadvantage, my friends. So that's my closing statement. I hope you got some value out of this. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. Don't give me shit or I'll fuck you up because my balls have been full. I love you. Bye.